What up, everyone? Back for another video. Long time no see. It has been crazy busy over here, crazy hectic. That's why it's such a shit show mess here. I don't know if you can tell, but here's Woof. He's in here too, in the mess. Yeah, it's just been crazy wild. I'd love to post more videos, but just a really bad time. But I do need to get to these monthly boxes because that's something that has to be reviewed either way. But I hope you all enjoyed Batman. I liked it. Didn't get to do a review of it. Maybe we'll talk about it later. So, we only have 3 boxes here. And that's because these companies are just kind of dropping off. Loot Crate is still technically in business, but they're still waiting to ship out boxes from October. We are almost in April now, and we're still waiting for boxes from Halloween. And they keep giving updates like, hey, just so you know, new shipping update, it'll be there in a couple days, this, and that. And it's like the 10th time we've gotten a shipping update, and then that date passes, and they're like, okay, now seriously this time, seriously, these are the dates. And it's just like, it's just kind of a joke at this point, so I don't know what's going to happen. For all I know, they're just conning all these people, and they're just taking everyone's money, because I just don't understand why all the boxes are that delayed. I understand certain items get caught up for certain reason, but all of them? I don't know. It sounds very weird to me, so I'm a little worried at this point that they're just going to take everyone's money, but hopefully that's not the case. But, you know, we haven't seen anything, so who knows? Either way, the boxes that are left, we have just 3 of them, so this should be a quick video, and the next one too. So I'm pretty sure these are the boxes from January. February's boxes just showed up, and they're over there in that garbage pile. So there's only 3 of them as well. And March's boxes haven't even showed up, so not that far behind. But, you know, without further ado, let's just get right into it. First off, the BAM comic box. I mean, cartoon box. So, I recently found out that they are discontinuing this box, which is just my luck. Like, fucking, of course. As soon as I really enjoy a box and I'm really getting into it, they cancel it because, you know, everyone hates me. So, I'm very bummed that this is getting canceled because this genuinely was my favorite box. I really liked it, not just from BAM, from any of the companies. I thoroughly enjoyed it and think they put out a lot of great products. That being said, this kind of softens the blow because this month's box kind of sucked. So let's take a look and see why. First, we got an autograph by David Boat. Ta-da! And he played the voice of Rupert on Family Guy. Now, this is a very obscure reference. I like that they do voice actors, but this is a little too obscure. I always want them to aim for like consistent characters or like big roles that they can point to, and this is just not one of them. He did some voiceovers for Fortnite, and he did, I think, like 1 or 2 episodes on Family Guy, and I had to dig deep, like really deep, to even find the episode where that appeared, and then find the spot where he did the voice. So very, very obscure to do only 1 or 2 episodes from Family Guy. So for that reason, the value on this is, like, the online it's $25, but sorry. People bugging me with text. Online, this was listed for $25, but, you know, no one's paying that amount, so it's kind of hard to say. And the reason for that being, I think it's just too obscure. Normally, these signatures go for right around that range, $20 to $30, and upwards if it's someone really special. So people are listing it for that price, but it's definitely not selling for that price. So you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. It's technically worth $25 if you wanted to buy it, but no one really wants to buy it. So I'm giving it a $25 value because I don't know what else to give it, but that was just a very poor choice on their part, and I'm assuming it's because they just couldn't find anyone, and maybe that's part of the reason they're canceling it. But yeah, the other boxes were great. This signature, a little too obscure for pretty much anyone's taste. And then we got our signed art print, and I got the rare one. And I've said this once, I've said it a million times, I'm very much over these, and a lot of people are too. Some people have voiced their opinions in the comments because I asked, and I thank you, by the way, for all the people that weigh in. I really do appreciate that. Some people said they do like the art print still, but most of the people are kind of like me. Like, they don't hate it, nothing against it, but they're very played out. We have so many of them. They often just kind of get thrown away because you can't even sell them because nobody wants to buy them. And the quality on them is just like, it's like subpar at best. There's nothing super amazing about this. It's just like someone just did a quick little Photoshop job, and it's like, yeah, nothing super special about it. And even when you get the rare one, it's like not really worth anything. So it'll get a $10 to $12 value, which they usually do, but that's not really saying much. So I'm kind of good with them getting rid of that. I don't think they're going to, but I wish they would consider doing that. Then we got an animation cell from Back to the Future. Now, fun fact, BAM actually did give animation cells way back in the day, like their first year, and it was from this same show, Back to the Future. I'm assuming it wasn't a popular show because these cells are very easy to get, and they sell online for very cheap. Honestly, you can get some really cheap cells like this for like 10 bucks online, like really no effort at all. So I'm going to give it a $10 to $15 value, but that's again being very generous. And again, this one I kind of got screwed on because I don't even know who that character's supposed to be. So I'm sure it was just some random character from a show that wasn't popular. So I like the idea behind it. I like getting cells and things like that, but a little too obscure. So $10 to $15 value. Then the pins, which weren't in here, they weren't in either box, which is fine. I usually don't get too pissed off about that because they do send them usually in the next box or the next month or something like that. So no big deal. So I'm going to give that a $20 to $25 value because they've been making pins a long time and they're usually always around the same value. Each one's usually 12 to 15 and the pair is usually $20 to $25, sometimes $30. But so I'm going to give it that value because that's usually what they're worth. But we can't see them here. They did show a picture, so we get the basic idea of it. They're from Archer, so they look cool. Like, no complaints there. And I'm glad they're doing the main characters because the past boxes, they did really obscure characters again. Like, why aren't you doing the main characters? So this one, we actually got Archer on there, so that's great. So I'm sure they will sell for a decent value when they do show up. So 20 to 25 on that. So that brings our value on the low end 65, on the high end 77. This is around a $50 box. So you're just barely getting a little more than you paid for, and that's being extremely generous on these values. Like I said, the autograph in there is technically 25, but nobody really wants it, so it's hard to even give it that value. Same thing with the cell. I was being generous on that. The print, I was being generous on that. The pins, I'm just kind of guessing. So even with the generous valuations, you're still only getting like 20% more, if even that. So the score on this box is going to be a 4 out of 10. Now, this may be part of the reason for them canceling it. Maybe it's just too difficult to get things to put in the box. I know they want animation cells in there, but the reality of the matter is people don't make animation cells anymore. No one does cartoons by hand these days. Everyone does them digitally. Pretty much any cartoon you see is done digitally. So it's getting harder and harder to find cells, and even when you do, it's almost always from Back to the Future because everyone hated that cartoon. So that may be part of the reason. But, you know, they don't always have to put a cell in there. They can come up with different ideas. They can do different toys or something like that. I don't know. I know it's already too late. They've already canceled it, but I just wish they would have reconsidered because it had so much potential. This just happened to be one bad example. Speaking of which, the other BAM box, BAM Geek. And if I remember correctly, they're getting rid of 2 of their boxes, and I'm pretty sure they were the 2 most recent new ones, which was the BAM cartoon, and I think the BAM Kids, I'm not 100% sure, and they're just getting reabsorbed back into the BAM Geek, which, fine, so whatever. Alright, this time we got an autograph on a pop figure. I really like that they do this. I like that they switch it up. Nothing against just having an 8x10, but I have so many of those. I just literally have like walls and walls covered with 8x10s with autographs. Every once in a while, I like to mix it up. And I think a pop figure is the perfect way to do that. It's not super expensive. You can find them very cheap, but it just makes it a lot nicer to put on display. It's so much easier. You don't have to buy a frame or anything. You're just good to go. You just literally pop this on a shelf. It's already got a protector and everything. Like, that's great. I think that's a good idea. You know, not every time, obviously, because it's a pain in the ass to ship these all over, but it's a nice change of pace. This guy was Mick Waggart, who was the voice of Iron Man on the What If series that came out this year. So I think that's really cool. And he's also done a few other things. He's got a long, long list of voiceover stuff. A lot of cartoons, some recognizable, some not, and for the most part, pretty well-known characters. So I think that was a really great choice. It always bugs me when they put pop protectors on backwards, though, when they put the flap in the front. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I have them all in protectors. I hate when they put the flap in the front. That's so weird. Like, why don't they just put it in the right way? I don't know. This is really something really stupid that I just noticed when I was looking at it. But that bugs me. Like, just put it in the right way. Just do it. Anyway, so the value on this is going to be around $30 to $40. You have the choice of 2 different pop figures, by the way, and I'm so happy I got this one. I almost never get my first choice. I almost always get the lesser of the 2. The other one was the Lucha Libre Iron Man, which I'm so happy I didn't get that one. That one sucks so much. I hate that one. So this one's not fantastic or anything, but compared to the Lucha Libre one, I'm like, yes. So I'm happy I got that. That's cool. The figure itself is like, whatever. But yeah, I like that. So $30 to $40. There are a lot of listings for this around that $40 to $50 range, but same thing with a lot of other items. They may be listed for that price, but no one's buying at that price. And there were ones that have sold, but some of them sold for as cheap as 15 bucks. And so I'm kind of trying to find the middle ground, so I'm giving it a $30 to $40 value, which is good. That's more than usual. The 8x10s usually go for that 20 to 30, and special ones are 30 to 40, either someone really famous or a special figure. So I think that's great. Even if you don't like the person, you still get a pop figure and a protector. Like, I think that's really cool. Good choice. Then we got our art print by Danny Schiltz, and this is of Morbius. This is actually a well-established artist as well. I saw some of his stuff on eBay going for really premium prices, some of his prints. So I appreciate that they're going out of their way to get better artists. I do appreciate that. But still, it's just, you know, it's not bad. It doesn't look bad or anything like that, but it's just kind of average, just kind of there. And the signature is just like 2 initials, so it's like, I don't know. I like what they're going for. I see they're trying to make an effort, but it's still just like, meh. So this goes for around 10 bucks, as they always do. But again, no one's paying $10. I'm just kind of being generous and giving that value because no one really wants that. So there's that. Then we got our prop replica, and it is the Holy Grail from Indiana Jones. And I think it's funny that they made it so tiny. Like, in all honesty, they could have given like a life-size one, and it would have fit in the box just fine. I don't know why they made it so incredibly tiny. I mean, it's not bad. It's just like, why did they pick this very specific size? Other than that, it looks like it. It's very accurate. I remember the gold inlay on that, and then the paint job is pretty decent on it. And I mean, it's pretty basic. It would be almost impossible to mess up the design on that. So it looks realistic. It looks good, and I like it. I'll keep it. It's just so weird. Like, why this size? So the value on this is like $15 to $20, which I think is fair. It's a very recognizable movie. It's not a very recognizable prop from the movie. It was only in it for a split second, but, you know, I think people would still get it. If I had this on the shelf, I don't think people would be like, oh my gosh, Indiana Jones. But if I pulled it down and explained it to them, they'd be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. So 15 to 20, I think, is fair on that. Pins, again, aren't here, but same situation. They almost always get that 12 to 15 and then 10 to 25 for 2. So I'm giving that the $10 to $25 value on the pins when they do show up. And these ones are from Doctor Who. At least they did put the picture so we know what's coming. I've never watched Doctor Who personally, but I'm sure these pins will be worth a decent amount, so no complaints there. Always love some pins. So that brings our value on the low end 75, on the high end 95. So pretty close to double the value. I like that they changed it up with a figure, and they got someone that not necessarily was a household name, but someone I definitely recognize who the voices were, and that's why I've been saying voice actors are always the best. They make people happy. Should have kept this BAM cartoon box. Just saying. So I like that they did that. I like that it was on a pop figure. Art print, nobody gives a shit about. The prop replica, at least they did a good job on it. They picked something that looked accurate. It's weird, but, you know, it's still good, so no complaints there. And then when the pins do show up, they look very nice in quality. I assume they will be when they show up. So I'm pretty pleased with this. They did a well-rounded, good job here, and they kind of switched things up, so I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. So there we go. BAM Box Classic. All right. One more to go. And the last one is Geek Fuel. So some pretty depressing news from this company as well. So like I said, I already have February's box. It showed up sitting right over there. And they put a note in it. And I've been saying for a while this box has been going slowly downhill. and hopefully it's not a sign of things to come. But it absolutely was a sign of things to come, because I'm pretty sure they're going out of business, or something very close to that. Basically, they're still going to continue the box, but it's basically going to be a shirt box now, which, you know, that they do make really nice shirts, I'm not going to lie, but I'm not sure if I'm going to stick around for that. But I'll talk more about that in the next video when we talk about February. I just want to give a brief update because I'm sure people are curious about it. Should have turned my screensaver off. It keeps popping up every 2 minutes. All right. So first, the shirt. From The Matrix. And on this shirt, as far as the score, it'll get the standard $12 to $15 value. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. The quality is always really nice, but you know, I like The Matrix, but I like the original Matrix. The other two movies kind of ruined it. And I honestly didn't see the newest one because it didn't seem interesting enough for me to go see it. But so I'm not trying to judge it too much because I haven't seen the most recent movie. But I don't know. Having something referencing a very, very old movie when there were sequels involved, it's just kind of weird to me. So I wasn't a huge fan to see a reference to the first movie. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. But other than that, it's a good quality shirt. It looks nice. It's just kind of a very outdated reference in my opinion. I don't know. That was just kind of odd to me. So, giving it a 6 out of 10. But still a nice quality shirt. Then, we got another one of the Mondoids. And as per usual, this one showed up beat to shit. Because for some reason, they don't want to get bigger boxes, and they don't want to pick items that fit in their boxes. This company has become notorious for this recently. They were so good for so long, but the past like 6 months, things are constantly showed up damaged. Either because they're just not packaged well, or because they're crammed in the box. And it's like, you know, now I have no choice but to take this out of the package because it's just permanently dented. The plastic is thick enough to where it makes permanent creases. It makes that little white mark where you can't undo that. So normally, these are worth $20. They even gave it a $20 value themselves. But because it's damaged, I'm only giving it a $10 to $15 value. Because now I have to treat this as if it's out of the box. Because the box is so damaged, I'm not going to keep it in there. So I'm being generous and giving it a $10 to $15 value. Because that's just not cool. Don't do that. Don't give us damaged stuff. You might as well have just given us an item out of the package. Not okay with that. Then, there was supposed to be a luggage tag in there. Where's the card? But I didn't get one. Wasn't in mine, and I would complain about it, but I don't care enough about this piece of crap to actually waste 5 minutes of my time contacting the company. Because I just don't care about a luggage tag. They show up so often in these boxes, luggage tags. I've never once used a luggage tag. And honestly, I don't even know someone that's used a luggage tag. And if they do, it's the one that already came on the luggage. I don't know a single person that has gone out of their way to purchase a luggage tag or switch out the one that's on the bag. It's just such a weird thing. Maybe it's just us on the West Coast. We don't do it that much. I don't know how it is elsewhere, but I've never once used them, and I've gotten like 200 from boxes. And again, it's not one that's even like super clever. It's a floppy disk, and it's like... Oh, so they gave it a $7 value, and I said, sure, I'll give it a $7 to $8 value just for the fuck of it. And then the last item was the bonus item, which was stickers, which is worth $1. Or if you really want to be generous, you can give it like $5. But really not worth it because they're not even like nice stickers. And the theme of this was Y2K, and why? Like, why? Why Y2K for January of 2022? Like, why? That's so random. And I guess the Matrix shirt makes more sense now because it's a Y2K theme. But people aren't going to know that when I'm wearing it. They're not going to know I'm being like funny and ironic by wearing Y2K stuff. It's just going to look like I'm wearing an outdated shirt. And the same with these other stickers. If I put them on my wall or made them into magnets and stuff, they're not going to get the irony of it. They're just going to see really old stickers. So it's like, why? Why do that? Why would I want a floppy disk luggage tag? That's so weird. So overall, that was it. That was all the items. So that brings our value on the low end 30, on the high end 43. So you are barely getting what you paid for on this, and the things you did get were really shitty quality and showed up damage. The only thing that was of decent quality was the shirt, but with a really outdated reference. So for that reason, I'm giving this box a 2 out of 10. Really not worth it, and I'm so disappointed because this was my favorite box. Around, I don't know, like a year ago, something like that, they were doing the best. They were doing so good. They were giving such good products, really good choices, a lot of stuff in there. And I'm assuming they just didn't get enough business, which is a bummer, because all I did was say good things about them on this channel. So very unfortunate. I saw them at the very first decline, and it's just been a slow decline from there. And they're essentially canceling this box and doing a new box where it's just the t-shirt and like one other thing, which is pretty much what we're getting anyway. We're getting a t-shirt and one other thing and a stupid thing and some stickers. So I guess that's gonna be pretty much the same, and they're still gonna charge $24 for it because they're still valuing their shirts at $25. And when this box was doing their best, they were only valuing their shirts at $20. Why the change? Why the up mark? Why are your shirts all of a sudden worth more money? They were originally worth 12. They were worth, or 20. They were worth $20 a year ago. Now all of a sudden they're worth 25. Like I don't know. It's just really sad to see a great company just totally shit the bed now. It's such a bummer, and it's inevitable, I guess. All these box companies are just one by one slowly dying off, and it's such a bummer because that's what I like to do. I like to review these boxes. I love these boxes. I always have. I like the collectibles. I like the stuff in there. So as far as boxes that are left, we have BAM, but it'll just be the Geek box because they're getting rid of the other ones. In theory, Loot Crate, if they ever decide to give us our products, I'm pretty sure they're just going to steal from us at this point. Then we have Zobi, which is only bi-monthly, so that's every other month. And then, yeah, I think that's it. And then we have the quarterly boxes that are from like Culture Fly, which I'm sure they'll be around a while. They're a pretty big company. So as it stands now, it'll probably just be like BAM, Zobi on a bi-monthly basis, and then Culture Fly quarterly, and that'll pretty much be it. I'll still review them, though. They'll still be here. I'll still be getting them, so nothing will change there. It's just really sad to see. It's such a bummer. I don't know. I'm sure at some point in the future, these boxes will make a comeback, and they will cycle around, and subscription boxes will make a big comeback, but that won't be for such a long time. Like, I don't know if I'll still even be alive when that happens. So very sad to see, but you should see another monthly review coming up pretty soon, hopefully in the next week if I have time. And it'll be the same thing, same 3 boxes, the only ones that are left. And hopefully eventually Loot Crate will ship all their stuff, like the 10 boxes they owe me, and we'll just do one big extravaganza of all the Loot Crate boxes, and it'll be dope. Other than that, thank you for watching and supporting. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them here. I'll answer any questions you have. Other than that, tell me what you want to see, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching and supporting. Love you all. Peace. Right, Wolf? Yeah, 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 yeah.